evening and welcome to a new series of Pirates.Net. Yes, we're back for the second series and I can assure you this series will be a lot faster and a lot more furious than the last one. If you don't already know, I'm Sarah Bulmer.
My name's Nicola Day. The 1996-97 ice hockey season has already started. The Pirates have played 6 of their Premier League matches. The team has changed slightly since the beginning of the season with the departure of George Swan, who is now at Cardiff. The Cahill brothers have also moved from the Pirates setup and flown back to the States. Mike Bettens has also left the club due to personal disagreements with the Pirates management. He is now with the Guildford Flames.
Tony Hunter has been looking at new players but won't buy until the Mike Bettens situation is resolved.
Pirates have had mixed results this season, winning away from home against the Medway Bears, although they have been defeated by the Slough Jets, Kingston Hawks and Swindon Ice Lords. Last Saturday, Pirates were defeated by the Solihull Blaze in a close thrilling match right up until the final buzzer. Pirates have battled bravely so far and have shown potential to do well this season.
Solihull Blaze, formerly the Barons, are top of the league right now. They've played 8 games, won 6 and lost 2. Last night they won 8-5 to Medway. In tonight's game the Pirates have the disadvantage. Last week the Blaze and Pirates met in a highly tempered game with Blaze coming out with an 8-6 win. Throughout the game tempers were frayed and Stuart Parker had a minor disagreement with Will Skinari, so keep watching.
I hope the crowd is as excited as I am, Sarah.
Yes, Nikki, I think the cameras are out there right now.
What do you think about the current team situation at the moment?
Oh, now you're asking one of those questions that, you can't really answer, can you?
What do you think about the way they've been playing and things like that?
The last match that I watched, which was last weekend, right?
Yeah.
Now, they really surprised me. They really tried hard there and they gave us a game and it was good. It was really good hockey watching. Previous form wasn't up to much at all. I'm really sad about that, but you never know. You can't, you don't know what to expect at the minute. I think we're still trying to build up and get settled. We're not really settled at the minute.
About the current situation, I'm quite disappointed with the way things are going at the moment. I know they've had problems in the past. I thought, honestly, at the beginning of the season that things were going to be different with the way they altered and changed the team about, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to have done a lot of good.
What players stand out for you in the match?
Players that stand out for me, normally Simon Wren does play well in goal, normally. And I think some of the British lads have played well, the 2 Cartons, Johnny Cotton especially.
So how well do you think the Braves are going to do this evening?
Very well, actually.
Yep. Their past record, they've had quite a few wins. They're top of the league at the moment. How well do you think they're going to do in the league altogether at the end of the season?
I hope we'll finish top of the league. Yeah, I think the Super League next year at the NAC.
Do you think there's going to be any problems tonight with Skinari and Stuart Parker?
No, Billy really is not a fighter. A lot of the Finnish players are not really fighters. I think it was just a one-off incident. And the so-called thing in the programme where we've got a problem with Stuart Parker I think it's just a farce, really.
So how is the crowd going to accept Stuart Parker this evening?
No, we always accept him. We abuse everybody. We just try and wind them up just to make them play bad. And often they do. And that's just our job, really. That's what we come down for.
What do you think of the Blazers' form this season?
It's quite solid overall. Defensive-wise, I think we're very strong now. With the likes of Slerd Carpenter, Jason Eyre and Lockwood, I think we've got a very strong defence. And if we can build from that, I think it's all the better.
Okay, thank you very much.
Tony, Pirates have only won one of their 6 matches so far. Will tonight be the turning point for the team, do you think?
If last week's game's anything to go by, you never know. We keep saying the same old, well, I wouldn't say it's an excuse, but the same old causes every week. We're 3 men down, and until I can get the nod from the club, we can't do anything about strengthening the squad. Hopefully in the next 24 hours or so, we shall get some good news.
What kind of changes will we see tonight compared to the previous matches?
I think the home advantage, the guys love, it's a big game against Solihull, it always is, it's a local derby and we're playing in our barn, so the boys want to do well for their supporters,
What players will stand out tonight from the Pirates side?
I think, the Cottons, the local boys, Simon Perkins, Stuart Parker, Al Latray, we're expecting big things from them boys, and I think they'll produce it tonight.
As a manager, what do you expect from the Pirates tonight?
Well, I expect 2 points, but the main thing is I expect 100% effort.
Okay, thanks for your help, Tony. Now we're going over to Sarah on the opposition bench.
Well, thank you, Nicky. John, what do you expect from your team this evening?
Well, obviously we expect to win, but I mean you can never go into a game expecting to win a game because the other side obviously wants to beat you as well.
Would you settle for a draw this evening?
No, we want to win.
You're top of the league right now. Is that a surprise for you?
Obviously it's nice to be top of the league, but nobody can expect to be there without trying.
You've won 6 games.
We've won 6 games.
And you're going to win this
we've
evening?
lost 2.
Yeah. Who are the losses with?
One loss against Guildford and a loss against Swindon.
So you expect to win this evening. Have you done any special training at all for this evening?
Nothing exceptional, but training is always a hard night's gruel.
Thank you very much, John.
Okay.
I'll have a word with you.
Well, Pirates got off to a bad start, and as we join the action, Ian Pounds in the penalty box. Pirates killing this well, but after 2 minutes it's just too much. And the goal goes in from Les Milley. There it goes, just as Pirates man comes back onto the ice. We're short-handed again when this one goes in. We're just a couple of minutes into the game and Solihull attacking once more. They've been dominating the whole game, and it's 2-0. We're halfway through the period. Pirates refusing to lie down and be beaten. Look at this appalling pass from a Solihull player which sets Ian Pound up with the puck. He slips it to Al Letray on the wing, who gets it into the goal crease. And it's a goal. John Cotton with the score. Now 5 minutes to go in the first period. Pirates short-handed again, and this is not a good short-handed defence by the Peterborough team. Solihull have the puck. They seem to be able to pass it at will, and watch this man in front of the goal. Unmarked. It's 3-1 Solihull through Luke Chabot. Just starting the second period then, and Pirates 3-1 behind. Luke Chabot had the last goal of the first period. He's about to have the first one of the second. What an appalling mistake that was, but Pirates can't pick up the loose puck, and it's in the net. So Pirates 4-1 down, but want a slice of the action badly. Here they are keeping it inside the blue line, so it's not an offside call, and Pirates working so hard. John Cotton has it behind the net. Watch Al Letray in front of the goal. He upends a player, puts the puck in the net, and is he happy? Right, 29th minute here, and watch the left of the screen. Sean McFadden, the number 20, got hit in the face first. He retaliated against Steve Carpenter, the most penalised player in the Premier League. And this is it. Look at them go at each other, hammer and tongs. You have to say McFadden had the better part of the first half of this fight, but he's on the underneath here as Carpenter just goes at it, hell for leather. The linesmen have to come in, break up the fight. McFadden had to stand up for himself. It's his own building, even though you can't condone fighting in this sport. But he's not a happy man at what happened. Look, he's lost his shirt. He wants to keep going, and he gestures that he got hit in the face first there. He gets thrown out though with a 5+ game penalty for roughing. Carpenter, on the other hand, despite being the most penalised player, thought he'd go to the penalty box for a couple of minutes. Now he gets sent off. He's arguing with the linesman all the way. He's mouthing off at Pirates players. And watch this. Shouldn't this be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty? We're into the third period now, just starting. Pirates might be bottom of the league and Solihull might be the top team in the Premier League, but they're only leading this hockey game by 4 goals to 2. They're clearly unhappy, and watch Al Letray go here. He'll finish off this goal having set it up. Here he is winning the puck, putting a bit of elbow into this one. See if you can watch the puck, because the goalkeeper certainly couldn't. Simon Howard had the shot. Al Letray put it in the net. So it's 4-3 to Solihull with 18 minutes left. Remember, they've got 11 imports on their side. Not surprising they're going to dominate this final period. The Pirates a bit at odds here. Justin George has the goal. He wraps it around, and the native Red Indian puts it in the net. Less than a minute later, and a face-off in Pirates territory. The puck's going to go back to the blue line, and that's it. A slap shot in the back of the net. Ian Pound doesn't like Dave Wilkie getting in the way, and tells him so. Now, nasty incident here as Phil Butler of the Pirates knocks Dave Wilkie down to the ground with a nasty cross-check to the back of the head. Wilkie had got to dig in on the boards, but no excuse for that kind of behaviour whatsoever. And Butler, a former Solihull player, just lays into Wilkie. He, of course, was the guy who had his helmet ripped off by Ian Pound just a minute earlier. So Butler's out of the game with a 5+ game penalty. Pirates have killed 2.5 minutes of the power play. But look at it, Simon Wren can't even see the puck, let alone the guy who's firing it. And Les Milley has the power play goal to make it 7-3 for Solihull Blaze. 2 minutes later, Luke Chabot completes his hat-trick, his first of the season, and Pirates have no chance with it. Now trailing 8-3, Pirates on the offense again. Solihull claim they didn't come to fight in this game, but watch this. Ian Wilson is there on the boards. The attack from behind from Joel Pickering is just out of order. Wilson obviously retaliates. After all, you don't get cross-checked in the back and stand back and watch it. The linesmen separate the two of them. He's got caught up in the netting, so he can't throw a punch back, which is in Wilson's favour at the end of the day because Pirates win the power play with Joel Pickering of Solihull getting a 2+2 for roughing. Well, Pirates' power play came to nothing. Neither side could score again. Simon Wren making a big save there in the last minute of play. And Pirates beaten by the Premier League leaders Solihull by 8-3. Beaten but not disgraced. Solihull went on to beat mid-table Telford 13-1.
Disappointing result, Tony. What are your thoughts about the game and how it went?
The game, to be honest, went just how I thought it would go. A lot of intensity. It's, as we said before, it's a local derby. The guys always get up for the local derbies against Solihull, and fortunately we've got them again next week. So I'm sure everyone's pleased about that. Just seems to be there's Peterborough and Solihull in this league at the moment, but that's the way the fixtures go. So we've got to meet them again next week. But yeah, there was a lot of intensity out there, as I thought.
Do you feel tonight every player gave 100%?
Oh, most definitely. We're, like I said before the game, we're 3 men down, and every one of those guys give 100% tonight.
Obviously some controversial decisions from the ref. Any views about that?
Well, we've always got our views on the refereeing. To be honest, at the end of the day, I'd like to support them. I'd like the league to get behind and put a little bit of money in there, in that area, because, there's a question mark over refereeing, but,
Another loss and a poor crowd attendance. Is there anything you could say to the fans to reassure them to return?
Well, I'll be the first one to admit we're down to our diehards now, and they know what it's all about. It's all a question of money now. Whether we can come up with something in the next couple of days is, a different question. But fingers crossed, this club's going to survive. They're going to give us some money to go out and get the players we need and turn this around. The fortunate thing is we've got 3 games in hand, so, someone's on our side. So if we can get the bodies in we need, I'm sure with, put a couple of wins together, I'm sure we're going to be back up to mid-table in no time,
What is the current situation with night weapons at the moment, for those who don't know?
It went to arbitration on Friday, down in Slough, and it came out, there was a compensation figure put on Mike. I think you'll find the owner, the chief executive, Keith Pick, was looking for a little bit more, which I don't blame him, I'm in full support there. But there was a figure, there was a settlement on the figure. It's in Guildford's court now. It's down to them to come up with the money if they want Mike Bettens. If not, Mike Bettens isn't playing this year.
A lot of physical heritage in play, but should the emphasis be put more on the tactical side of the game, Tony?
Yeah, if we had the bodies, yes, I agree. But then you're always going to get a physical game in a local derby, and when you're down like that, no bodies. They had a good win last night, so they're going to come in here all cocky and think, well, we've got another 2 points in here tonight. And that's the way to play the game. Go out physical. We don't have to goon anyone. Like I say, the refereeing was a bit question mark over refereeing. So one or two of the decisions I wasn't too happy with. But no, you always play a physical game in these conditions.
Pirates do like strong top front at the moment. Is there any decision on changing the players around that way?
I think it'd be unfair to say there's going to be changes. As I said, we need 3 bodies at the moment, 1 good anchor man at the back, and we need at least 1 good import forward. And we're searching I was going to say the country, but we're searching, both sides of the Atlantic, all over Europe, and we're going to make sure we get the right man for Peterborough.
Is there anything you feel worked especially hard tonight on the ice?
No, I think every guy in there on that pulled on the white sweater tonight gave his all. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot, Tony. So now we're going to go to Solihull and the crowds.
So what did you think of this evening's game then? Quite close first of all, but then lagged behind a bit?
We tried hard, but we haven't got the proper players to really get it together. We need imports badly. Until we get them, we won't get anywhere, I'm afraid, but we try hard.
A lot of fighting tonight. Do you think that was good or bad? Helped the game or what?
But it makes it more interesting when there is a bit of fighting. At least there's some passion about it, but sometimes it doesn't seem to get going at all.
So what do you think the management can do to improve the game? I mean, obviously get new players in, but how do you think they can go about that?
I've got no idea. They've got to find some imports from somewhere, otherwise we should not win another match as far as I'm concerned. But
and are you going to still keep coming even if they don't win?
yes, that's the thing I will always do, but a bit disappointing, I'm afraid, but we'll enjoy it.
The lads done really well, considering we're playing a team of internationals, a referee that wants new glasses. They've done really well. 11 imports in Solihull. Do you think that's fair? No. Never have done, never will agree with it. Too many. There's plenty of British lads out there want to go and play hockey. Can't get them because you've got idiots like that coming over here. A lot of fighting in tonight's game. What do you think about that? Do you think it helped the game at all in any way? No, not really, did it? We lost 2 players to it, but I like to see a bit of a rough game now and again, but not to that degree, no. So do you think all the Pirates players put 100% in this evening's game? Yeah, with the exception of probably 1 or 2, they had a bit of a nightmare out there, I thought, but on the whole, I thought we put up a good performance, as we did last week against this crowd. And hopefully one of these days we should be able to go out there and beat them. So you're still going to keep coming if we keep losing? Oh yes, I'm used to this. I've been coming there for 10 or 11 years, so I've seen all the ups and downs, and yeah, I should still come. The rest decisions, did you think they were unfair in any way at all?
Maybe some of them looked a bit dodgy here and there, but overall I think it worked out not too bad.
Quite a close game though. Obviously in the third period we let down a bit, we let it slip a bit, but do you think all the players put 100% in?
I suppose towards the end of the game, I think they maybe could have put some formations together, and put some form of attack in towards the end. It seemed to be totally on the defence.
So a lot of fighting in the game. Do you think that helped the game at all in any way?
I don't think so.
That's fun though.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right, let's take a look back at last weekend's results and action now, starting with the Saturday results in the Premier League. And Kingston Hawks had quick revenge after losing in Slough a couple of weeks ago. It was 6-4 to Slough first time they met. This time, Hawks turned the tables and won by 10 goals to 6. Solihull Blaze, despite being the league leaders, struggled at home against Medway Bears. Bears were 5-3 ahead at one stage, but Solihull came back with 5 unanswered goals to snatch the points, and Medway stayed next to bottom, just ahead of the Peterborough Pirates. Pirates themselves had a net-minding crisis as they went to face Swindon Ice Lords. Swindon second in the table, and Pirates without either of their recognised netminders. 16-year-old Gareth Davis was thrown in at the deep end. He managed 46 saves and was man of the match. But Swindon are a big team with big forwards, and it won by 20 goals to 2. The other game on Saturday was the first in Premier League history to be decided by penalty shots. This year, games that are tied after regulation time go into a 5-minute overtime period. If that doesn't separate the two sides, it goes to penalties until one team wins. Fred Pellini had the winning shot for Guildford Flames as they had victory in Telford. We move on to Sunday, and would you believe it, Guildford and Telford back at each other through a quirk in the fixture list. Again, overtime couldn't separate these two teams, and it had to go to penalty shots. This time, though, it was Telford who came out on top. Guildford had won in Telford, Telford win in Guildford. Swindon Ice Lords went to Kingston Hawks. It's a measure of what a strong team they are because they beat Kingston on their own ice surface. Kingston virtually unbeatable at home in the Premier League prior to this game, but it finished 6-2 to the Ice Lords. Medway Bears fought bravely against Slough Jets before going down. It was 2 apiece at the end of the first period, but Slough came from behind to have the victory, winning by 5-2. And the game we've just been watching, Peterborough Pirates at home against the league leaders Solihull Blaze, and as we saw, Blaze won it by 8-3. This week's other game was on Tuesday night as Solihull and Telford played their third match in the space of 4 days. Now, of course, Solihull won 8-3 against Peterborough, who are bottom of the league, but it shows what a good fight the Pirates put up. Solihull then beat Telford by 13-1. So let's take a look at the Premier League table, and a 3-win weekend has left Solihull Blaze top of the pile, 4 points clear of Swindon, although the Ice Lords do have a game in hand. Now if you look at this table and imagine that Slough and Guildford will win their games in hand, you can see a distinct top 4 forming there of Solihull, Swindon, Slough and Guildford. Of course, at the end of the season it's the top 4 who go into one set of playoffs, while the bottom 4 go into another set. Kingston look to be a comfortable mid-table team, as do Telford, and then at the bottom you've got the Peterborough Pirates and Medway Bears. But Pirates do have all of those games in hand. Now, in case you haven't seen this year's Premier League table before, of course there's no draws column, because there's not going to be any draws. Every game will be played to a conclusion. If it goes to overtime and someone scores, then the winner gets 2 points, the loser gets 1 point, as they would have done for a draw. Likewise, if it has to be decided by penalty shots. So the column there, labelled LIO, stands for lost in overtime. Pirates might be bottom, but they do have games in hand.
Next game is on the post that. We'll hear from you next week.
And I hope you enjoyed the game and the programme. First of many, I'm sure.
We will be here same place, same time.
Good night.
Good night.